start the recording otherwise. So yeah, the present tense can be used in multiple ways. It's not only about the simple present or even the present continuous, but majority of the time you'll see this. But still, some cases in future also, some those cases can also be included, which are started in past. Like I have been learning French since last 1 year. Okay, still a present tense. Okay, I've been singing for few months or something like that. I have all those activities which are not yet ended or completed, still going on, and they can go with love ratio without any doubt. Okay, so yeah, uses I already have discussed. It's not required. Just revise the things. What is important apart from the utility uses is to understand the formation of the love ratio tense. So how do we form it? So to understand the formation part, we already have decided. French grammar has already grouped these verbs into three categories, and let's talk about that. We already have discussed verb one. I mean the group one, first group, which is ER group. Like example of these group can be parler, manger, regarder, right? Écouter, arriver, all these. Aller is not a ER verb. Okay, it's an exception of even though it's ER, but it does not falls into this bucket, and it's outside of it. So Ali is going to get into the third group because the whole idea of categorization or you know this varieties or categorization of this verb is to understand the verb by their endings and their conjugation patterns. So if I say the talk about the first group, all the groups have the same endings. Endings, I mean the infinitive endings like er endings, right? And if I say their conjugation, yeah, their conjugation endings are also the same. Like for je it's e, for q it's es, for il it's e. So I mean two things are common for each group. The infinitive ending is the common thing, and the conjugation ending is the common thing that we see for each group, I'm saying. Okay, I mean especially for first group and second group. What is good part about the first and second group is that these both group belong to a regular family. Like they get their conjugation in a very regular formal pattern. They are not very different from each other. They are exactly same. Like let me share this word document. uh, I hope you can see this word document, right?
Yes.
So when I talk about the first group, it's er. It means that all the verbs which fall in the first group has to end in er. Okay, as infinitive. For example, parler, manger, aimer, right? Étudier. All these verbs are ending in er. They must be er endings. Second, they must be ending with the specific endings like e with this case, je के साथ, with you it's es, es, ons, right? These are the endings. How do you get the stem before you add the endings for the first group? Anyone?
So remove the ER.
For the year, right? How do you get? Remove the year, right?
Correct.
Okay, you remove the er and add the following endings, right? And you get your present conjugation of the verb, right? For er
Yes.
verbs. Yes, correct. And one good thing about the first group, this is the dominant group in French. Means that things are kind of smooth here because most majority of them are going to belong to the first group. Does mean that more than 50% task done with only er verb. Okay, more than 60% or 70%. Only leftover is 20-30%, which falls in the second group, and third group is almost only 10% of them. Okay, I cannot be accurate in saying 10%, but just an idea, like overall overview about these things. So I can say the first group is dominant one, and most of the verb, all of the verbs, regular verbs are falling in the first group. But some important verbs even fall in the second group, which are very less in number, and which is good for us, right? Already told you about GER verb. CER, basically spelling changing verbs, right? Even though they are regular, but they have kind of some here and there, some twist and tweak, but they are not exactly as parler, regarder, manger, écouter, something like that, standard ones. These ones are little different. For GER, with nu we add extra E before the G to make the sound, phonetically perfect sound, a soft sound, okay? Nu monjo. Here with say, you don't need any letter, extra letter, but just C changes to Sediye C, okay? C with Sediye. And this does change the sound of this letter and makes it sound as so, not as go. Otherwise, this C before this O means co, but we don't want to say co, we want to say so. Nous commençons. That's why we are adding Sediye, and the sound becomes she. Okay, some letter if it is written like CH, so without C Sediye, it already sounds like sure, sure, soft sound. And here you don't need to add a Sediye. I hope I'm clear, right? For example,
Yes.
Sakola, Sakola. You don't need to say Kula or something. It's Sakula. CH already is so. That's why we don't need to add. It means that once H is after this C, you don't add any Sediye because that is the purpose of Sediye, to make the sound softer. And here the purpose is already filled. You don't need to add Sediye. In case of CH, Shakola is one example. It's chocolate. Okay, right?
Yep.
Yep, got it.
Okay. कोई doubt है? Any doubt about the first group? Anything?
No.
Okay, so I'll be moving to the second group now. Okay, I have explained this part very well, and then I think we'll be moving to the second group now. Second group may there is kind of the same regular conjugation pattern. So it is also very easy, just like ER. So yes, it has a regular conjugation pattern and easily identifiable. Yes. So I mean not all, but most of the IR verbs are falling to this second group, right? Just like ER we said, right? ER, all of the, we cannot say all of the ER falls in the first group itself, right? Because ale, one of the important verb itself, is not falling in the first group of ER, right? So just like that, even IR verbs are mostly regular, but you cannot say all IR verbs are, regular. Exceptions are there, and here the exceptions are little more than ER actually. So here, not just one verb, here a few verbs can go in the third group, or even though they are ending in the IR verb, right? It means they must not be following the regular conjugation pattern. That's why they are not being included in this family. Okay, they have been putting the this just taking out all the irregular IRs and putting them in the another basket, which is third group, right? So if I talk about finir, these are few important. Finir means to finish, swazir, rondir, and reosir, uh, and there are many more. So finir, and these verbs are regular ones, and they are going to follow a specific standard conjugation pattern, not exactly as ER, but kind of standard regular. So there, like, let me just write their endings, highlight this. This is Joakele, this is IS. For Q, it's IS. For L, it's, can you guess it?
IT.
IT, very good. Can you guess it for Nu?
ONS.
ONS,
Take your time, take
SONS.
your time.
ONS,
I
SSONS.
double S O N S.
ISSONS?
Yes.
ONS.
Yes, Akhil
Double
is
S
correct.
ONS.
Akhil and Ayush is correct in this way because they are taking the derivation of stem from up above, right? This one, FIN is the stem, right? And actually
Yes,
here, I mean, I should be included here, right? Because this is a stem. FIN, fa is the stem of this verb. What you are doing? Remove IR, right? It is written here. Remove IR and leftover is the stem. So whoever said that ISSONS is the ending is the correct answer. Okay. And the same finisse, finis. Endings are quite regular. Just let me highlight it. So once you remove IR, you get the stem already. Just like ER verb parlay. You just remove ER and you get the stem there, right? So let's read it again.
Right.
You guys can repeat after me. Je finis,
Je
Je
finis.
finis.
tu finis,
Tu
Tu
finis.
finis.
il finit,
Il
Il
finit.
finit.
elle finit,
Elle
Il
finit.
finit.
nous finissons,
Nous
Nous
finissons.
finissons.
vous finissez.
Vous
Vous
finissez.
finissez.
And il, elle finissent.
Il,
It's
Il,
not
elle
elle
finissent.
finish.
finissent.
The same sound
So,
like je, tu, il, elle, right? Sound of nous and vous is different, right? Just like ER verbs, parlons, parlez. Nous parlons, vous parlez. Apart from that, rest is just parle. Je parle, tu parles, il parle, elle parle. Right? Let's see again the same thing. Here, if I say je parle, tu parles, il, elle parle, and il, elle parle, all this the sound is the same actually, right? The book, the in Cosmopolitan book they have already written with the specific phonetics, and they are trying to show you that they sound exactly same, because you think they cannot, right? We think that it should be parlons, right? But this is not the case. This is exception, and this should be read as parle only. And just like this, uh, even fini में यहाँ पे you have to read it as finish. जो fini, you fini, il fini, or यहाँ पे il finish. It's finish actually. A sound is coming just to maintain the ending. So fini, 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 finissons, finissez, and finish. Okay. So here these three sounds are same. Okay, and these three sounds are different. Left over these three plural ones. Okay, nous, vous, and il, elle. So generally, what we tend to see is that all the similars have the same similar sound. Okay, or at least similar sounds, if I cannot say the same. So je finis, tu finis, il finit. Okay. Okay, many, even third group maybe you will see this pattern. All the similars have almost the same phonetics, even the word meaning can change. So in if I say the spoken part will become a little easier or helpful, right? While you're speaking, you don't need to care what the word can be written as, right? How it can be written as, you just know the sound. Like if I say je parle, or if I say tu parles, if I say il, elle, on parle, does not matter, right? Even though spelling is not the same. Got it? So while writing the things, you have to be little more cautious. While speaking, you don't need to be, right? For the conjugation part, I'm saying. You got my idea?
yes.
If I say they
Yes.
are talking, il parle, then also the same sound. Means things are not that complicated while speaking the verbs in a conjugated format, right?
Right.
Okay, because they are kind of almost the same sound. How to differentiate is just based on the pronouns they are going with, like je, tu, il, elle, right? And even in this ell, third person singular and plural has the same sound, exactly the same sound in case of irregular verbs. So how then you would be able to differentiate? It's based on the context now. Okay, on the passage you are reading, on the conversation you are having. Based on that, it will be decided, right? I think second group भी बहुत आसान है, बहुत easy है, right? It's just
Yes.
like ER verb, but endings are different. IS, IS, IAT, ISSONS, ISSCZ, ISSCNT. Okay, so
Yes.
you know this. Please try to add more verb list to this group, or I'll be sending you more list of the same. But try to find some more, maybe on Google or somewhere. So add कर लो इसमें, add more, and it will help you, because here in IR verb, what is the problem? That a little more verbs are going to go in the exception. So not it's not exactly in case of ERK we have only one exception, that is ale. But here there are many more like dormir, partir, sortir, right? Resortir, repartir. All those verbs are going to go in the third group, even though they are ending in IR. So let's see the third group now. So are we clear with the second group?
Yes.
Yes.
So I'll be moving
Yes.
to the third group now. So third group is kind of very hodgepodge thing, I can say it. But it's not that tough also. There is a way for the same. So how would we deal with it? Because there are varieties of endings here. IR. Even did we see this IR earlier, right? In the second group, right?
Right.
Still they are saying that even some IR are going to get in the third group. Even some if they write some ER also, so that is also fine, right?
Yes.
Ale. Yes.
Because ER, the exception is so rare, just one exception. That's why they are not mentioning this ER here and keeping ER kind of pure regular verb. Just one exception. But when I talk about the IR, third group, there are huge variety, huge endings, these three, four types, and completely strange. Not no relation to infinitive, right? So we already saw ale verb conjugation. Ale means to go, right? And that was conjugating with va, right? Je, ve, tu, va. Do you remember that ale ka conjugation?
Yes.
Can anyone conjugate me ale verb? Yeah, just speak it out.
Ale. Mm,
You can use your notes with
ale.
me.
Was it that the conversation we had yesterday where I asked you why there are two woos, woo woo, ale? I remember a
Oh,
part of it.
it was a pronominal verb, right? Reflexive verb, action on oneself, right? Or each other. So that is a different thing. I'm just
Yes.
saying ale. How do you conjugate ale verb in present tense? If I must have written somewhere. Let me see. Here we discussed ale, and which is not a regular verb, right? I know the conjugation, but I just wanted to see if I have written it here. Here, you can see ale. Just revise the notes, right? Everything is in the book only, in the notes only. Ale is one of the group
Yes.
which is, even though ending in er, but belonging to third group exception. So it's Jove, Cuva, Ilva, Elva, Nuzalo, Fuzale, Ilvon, Elvon. Very simple and very important because French में तो it's very frequent. Ale बहुत तो किसी भी language में it's very frequent, right? To go. I'm going there. I'm coming from here. I'm doing there. Doing it. Doing that. So कोई भी near future के लिए we use very frequently this ale verb, right? To go, to tell something which is going to about to happen. Je vais manger le chocolat. I'm going to eat the chocolate. Je adore le chocolat. Love chocolate. So all why did I give that example? That's not taking ale. But yeah, any ale verb can go with any to go formation can go with this formations. And the formation is very strange, right? Was you are starting with way, even though infinitive is starting with a, right? So there's no logic behind it. Just memorize them. Just like that, let's talk about other third group verbs. And they are of course going to be very strange. So this group contains irregular verbs, do not follow a set pattern. All these problems, they require memorization. Okay, yes, learning them by heart will help you. Subcategorization examples. So irregular में we have the first categorization which is IR verb, which is not falling in the second group basically, which is being removed from the second group just because they are not following a set of pattern for the
Pattern.
conjugation. If they would have followed that specific conjugation pattern for the second group, we would not have removed them. We would have kept them in the second group only, and we have kept all the IR verbs which are following the regular pattern in the second group only. But some of them are not following, and being strange. That's why we have removed them outside and put them in the third group. All the leftover in the third group. So some IR verbs do not follow the second group pattern, right? This is the discussion. And that's why some of the examples Gormir Kartil Fonti, we are going to put them in the third group. Let's see the formation of them. How do we conjugate? So you remember that formation ending was not is there, right? But they are writing is. Jodor, Tudor, Ildor, and then nous dormons, vous dormez, ONS. I'm not saying that what I'm highlighting is the ending, but I'm just trying to find some pattern. But still they are strange. If there would be any pattern, they would have been in the second group already. But still I'm trying to do some kind of memorization, even though they are irregular, right? So if I remove the IR here, so it will help me conjugate nu, wu, and il with just regular endings, right? Of ER verb. These are
Right.
the endings for the ER verb, right? Do you remember that? ONS, CZ, ENT?
Yes.
Yeah. So what I'm saying, even though they are irregulars, we have still some scope to do something with them. Okay, in long run, because once we become expert, this will be not a problem. But still, we can do something about it. So what we'll do is, for all the plural forms, we'll keep the standard one. We'll try to keep generally, even though we don't know about that. We'll try to keep the standard one, and endings will be just er endings for the all the plural ones. Okay, nu, vu, and ill. Okay. What about il? It's just the main, mostly the main thing, main infinitive words. Dove, dove, dove. Then memorize them. Okay. So no logic for this, but I'm just saying what logic still I can add something, just here and there. And mostly il, l endings are ending their conjugation ending in the t, right? Did you observe that? Here you can say fini, it, right? Okay. Let's see more. Here it is not. I think no. Okay. So all the irregulars generally ill ends in T. This is my observation. You have to, see them. You have to see them individually and find it out, for yourself how Patir is working. So they are going to work in the same way. Je pars, tu pars, il part, nous partons, nous partons, vous partez. Somewhere the same pattern, but not exactly, same, similar pattern, I would say. What about OIR? There are many OIR verbs also in French, like vouloir, pouvoir, devoir, revoir, right? So all these are basically verbs. Even voir is a verb, means to see, right? VOIR. VOIR is a very important, of course, very important verb, which means to see something. It's different from regarder, which means to watch something, right? You don't see the television, you watch the television, right? Actively watching the movie, right? But seeing the television would be just superficially seeing the TV, how it is, how TV looks like, right? So that difference. So voir is important verb that we used to say to see something, to look, and regarder is something, watch something, right? Difference. That English difference is also clear. The same thing here. Voir and regarder is different verbs, and voir is the irregular one here in the third group. OIR ending verbs, right? So these few are very important. You need to know pouvoir, boulevard, and devoir, and also voir. So like I want to, I will be able to, I'll have. So ये सारे verbs important है, and they are is still irregular. So just remember them. Boulevard, je veux, read after me. Je veux,
Je vois.
Je veux.
tu veux,
Tu vois.
tu vois,
Je veux.
elle veut,
elle voit,
va.
nous voulons,
nous voulons,
Voulons.
Voilà.
vous voulez,
vous voulez,
Voulez.
and elle vole.
elle vole.
Elle vole.
Vole. T is silent and O, even O is silent, so it's vol only. Italy we are studying, not N, not T. It's vol. Il vol, el vol. So vouloir is basically to be able to want to, and pouvoir is to be able to, right? Pouvoir ka bhi conjugation we should see, and these are important ones. Okay, not written here. So pouvoir के लिए there is formation saying je peux, tu peux, il peut, nous pouvons, vous pouvez, ils peuvent, ils peuvent. Okay, I also remember, you can also remember. It's not that tough. It's kind of the similar things. Even you can compare vouloir and pouvoir. Even though they are irregulars, they are kind of being pronounced in the similar manner, just based on that. So, but still, I would recommend to see them separately, because यहाँ पे it is not fixed. Some word meaning here and there can change, because they already, you know, given hope on this verb group. Like they are directly saying you have to learn them, right? You have to memorize them. You have to learn them by each of them, by each, like looking at each of these conjugations. So dormir, partir, sortir, these are about you have to see. And for that, I have one application I would recommend for you guys. Let me just see what is the name. I think I'm using it for long, but I think it's Conjugazo. ठीक है? Conjugazo is the name of the application. I think it's available on iOS also. On Android, so I'm using it. So uh, use that application to learn the conjugation of these verbs. Okay. Conjugation. There are many other, but this one is very good, which I like. So this is the term. You will just find it out. Conjugation on Play Store. App Store. Let me send it to chat. Maybe in the group. Okay. So yeah, it's fine till here, right? Okay, some of the RE verbs, prondr, attendre, these are also very important. Even though irregular group is very small, there are very less number of verbs in these groups, but some of them are very, very important, like var, dormir, partir. These सारे verbs are very highly used in the language, and that's why you have to learn them. Even if you're not even learning ER verbs, right? You don't need to do all the ER conjugation. जो मैंने homework दिया था, right? I gave you the homework to conjugate ER verbs, right? Did you do that? Have you done that? The ER conjugation. I gave the list for 20 verbs, right? In the last few classes.
Yeah,
So basically,
the
I haven't done it
Yes.
yet.
right? Let me show you. I gave you, I think I remember.
yeah, aim
Yes.
parle regarde.
So smart
Regarding
person would, what a smart person would have done, even you don't need to conjugate. Just once you read it, like j'aime, tu aimes, il aime, nous aimons, vous aimez, il aime, right? You
yeah.
just read it after,
Yes.
even don't need to write it. It's so simple. Okay, reste, je reste, tu
Yes.
restes, il reste, nous restons, vous restez, il reste, elle reste, khatam. Right? That's all. Je porte, tu portes, il porte. That's all. I mean, ER verbs are something so soothing for us. They are so helpful for us. We don't need to do anything about them. Don't even need to see the conjugation of them. Whenever you're required to do the conjugation, you'll do it. Like you'll speak it or you'll write it. So basically, you don't need to learn it actually. I'm not saying to just forget it, but I'm just saying, right? Practically, you don't need to do anything. It's a kind of thing that you're doing without doing anything, right? By doing nothing. So don't try to conjugate a lot of ER verbs. Just focus on the second group and the third group. Even the most important agenda is to focus upon the third group, only third group, right? So your whole energy should go to the third group verb, not to the, like, calculate like this. Third group should be put your 70% time in the third group, and rest 30% out of 20% to the second group, and rest 10% of the time should be dedicated to ER group. Got it? Okay. So if you are studying 1 hour, give
Yes.
40 minutes to third group, and rest 20 minutes you can allocate to IR and ER if you want to. Otherwise, that is also not the need for. I mean, I don't believe. But as a beginner, you can give 10 minutes to ER. Yeah. So do this smartly, and it will be very easy. Okay. What about OIR verbs? they are irregular, right? Again, even did we discuss prawn? Okay, OIR, yeah. So OIR we discussed. Let's talk about RE ending verbs like prawn, aton, met. Okay, uh, uh, all these verbs are RE ending verbs, and they are also irregular. Still, they have kind of infinitive touch in their conjugation. Take this example, prawn. So because j के साथ there is no s ending and is taking s at the end, that's why it's irregular, right? q के साथ we generally take
Yes.
s, that's fine, and the t at the end, but still irregular. Yeah, it's pure irregular verb, and that's why it's separate from all of the above. So re endings, let's read it out. Prawn, je prends, je
Je
prends,
prends,
tu prends, il
je
prend,
prends,
okay,
il prend,
nous prenons,
nous prenons,
You pone,
No problem.
vous prenez,
il prend.
you pon, il pon.
il
You
prend.
can even
D'accord.
predict the sound and you would be mostly correct. Mostly 90% of the time. So it's now based on learning the things, seeing how to read the text. So first lesson mein we did that alphabet part, alphabet, right? So even those phonetics are we are using here. P, F, O, do, prend, prend, je prends, tu prends, il prend, elle prend,
Hot,
nous prenons, vous prenez, il prend, elle prend. Alphabet का first lesson is what we are using here to read these texts, because these texts do not have any accents, right? They are just simple letters, and we are just mixing the sound and reading it. So, and it means I take, I take, I'm taking, or you take, you're taking, or she or he take something. We are taking, you are taking, they are taking, right? Just translating it. Prawn means to take something. Athon means to, it's not to attend something. It seems like it's to attend. Athon word, many people think so. But it means to wait for someone, to wait for something. Athon. Okay. So it's not athon, it's not to attend someone. Okay. And even one word is there. Entendre is to not to, uh, I think that is also similar to some sound, but that entendre, en, is something different. It's entendre is to basically to listen something. Okay. So they kind of create some confusion because we think this entendre might be attained or something. This entendre might be attained or something, but they have a complete different meaning. So be cautious of these kind of similar quasami, right? Quasami, false friends, right?
yes.
Okay, different verb may different type of tension does exist, and that's we are not doing right now. We are just sticking to love preso. We are not doing passive composite imperfect. They are future tenses, tenses that we'll be doing. What is the takeaway? What we learned with the conjugation? What is the idea? So, like get this idea how you have to deal with it, right? You have a separate lens for third group, right? And altogether separate for
Right.
second group and first group, right? So it
Correct.
would be like
Yes.
seeing them differently, not treating them equally. Like you have to kind of positive discriminate them. So seeing the third group, giving more importance to third group would be a better choice. And second and first and first group, so it's I'll keep it at the end only. Keep the major idea, major focus on the third group. Try to add more verbs, more examples, and conjugate each one of them, right? Conjugate each one of them and write them now down, right, on your book, or just learn them. So because the third group is something that has to be learned by the student only. It's not something ki aise it would be given and it would be done, something like that. It's ER is something that can be taught, but this third group is something that you have to learn it. You have to memorize it. You have to practice it. Try to speak all the irregular. Like if you want to say I would be able to do this, or I am able to do this, I will say Je peux, right? Je peux. Tu peux. You are able to. Try to practice that and think about it. Je peux, tu peux. Vouloir means to be, to want to. So je veux, right? Tu veux, you want that. Or il veut, nous voulons, vous voulez, right? Il vole, elle vole. Got it? So
Yes.
basically, start thinking about the third group. I'll try to add more third group verbs in the list and will send you the document, this PDF, to you after the class. And yeah, now you guys can ask me questions.
So, approximately how many words are there under the third group?
Okay,
Approximately.
numbers I cannot say, like there might be thousands, right? There are more than thousands of the verb for each category, but still proportionally they are very less. I'm saying proportion wise, we cannot calculate the complete verbs because even verbs can be created, right? New verbs based on the noun, right? Based on the
Yeah.
nouns, even one verb can be created a noun can be created turned into the verb. So there are thousands of the verb even in the third group. But you ask me the right question. This question would be the perfect question, that how many verbs we should learn for A1 level, right? In the third group, this would be perfect question. So uh, for the third group, uh, you at least need 100 plus verbs in the third group only. Okay, maybe more than that, but yeah, 100 at least verbs are most important verbs that will help you throughout this A1 and A2 level that we are doing right now. So 100 verbs is sufficient as of now, I would say, in the third group,
Wonderful.
right? And you don't need to think thousands more out there. Okay, we don't care about that, because even French native people don't use lot of irregular third group because they do not like the third group themselves. What is the problem? They have kept it because there is no other means to kept it in the grammar. The evolution happened in that way. What they are doing now is removing all the third group, trying to decrease the number of third group and add more verbs in the first group. If they make any addition as of now, so they will put that verb in the first group only. So basically this is a positive thing, right? In long run, something third group is something which is dying, but still very useful as of
Right.
now. Still it's not completely dead. It's very used. It's very much used. Vouloir, pouvoir, avoir, avoir, être. Avoir, être we did, right? To have, to be. No one asked me which verb is this, which group this belongs to, or like, now can you tell me avoir and être, how do you categorize them? In the third group, in the second group, or maybe in the first group?
So, être is Ari, that would be third group,
Okay. And avoir?
and avoir also third
Word.
group.
Very good, very good. Yes, perfect. Why did you say avoir is not falling in the second group?
I saw it under the exceptions.
Yes, and even we know the conjugation also, right? That is also the second thing that we can verify with, because it's not taking the original avoir conjugation pattern, right? Not following the standard one. Avoir becomes je, tu as, il a, right? Nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. So that's another thing that you can even check the conjugation also. So if we know already that être ka conjugation and avoir ka conjugation, it's very clear they must be falling in the third group, because conjugation is very strange, not being derived from the infinitive verb, right? Okay,
Yes,
clear?
and also Gyan, revoir is in the second group, right? Or is it
Avoir.
also third?
Word.
You are saying avoir
No, we use that
Robot.
au revoir. So,
or revoir?
is
Okay,
that
revoir. You must be saying revoir, which is
revoir?
voir
Yes.
and revoir. I mean, let me just show you that what you are saying. I think you are saying
Goodbye, basically.
I think it's revoir. I mean, this one.
Correct. Yes, revoir.
This is a verb, to see someone again. Okay, so to see something again. So it's revoir, and when voir is in the third group already, right? Voir means to
Yeah.
see. So raw does not make any change. It's just the repetition of the same action, and it is going to fall in the third group only. If I say
Third group.
raw method, to put something and to put something again, raw method. So still in the third group does not make any change. Raw method is just raw. I told you already, repetition of the same action, right? Raw method, raw voir, raw regarder, to see something, watch something again, raw regarder. Okay, raw prendre, to retake something, right? Clear or not?
Right,
Yes.
got it.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, so yeah, I think we are very good with the present right now. Right? You are able to understand everything, no doubt, right?
Just needs practice.
Just needs practice, yes. And that part is kind of some part which student does, right? It's more dependent on your, not on me. I did my part, like I also do conjugate the verb, you know, speak them. So it's something that you also have to do, right? You have to listen to the some podcast, some conjugation pattern. And if you are facing any issue in the pronunciation, or maybe in the conjugation, so use that conjugation, otherwise ask to me, you know, if you're getting any second doubt, not getting clear with that, and just ping me or call me right anytime, if I'm not in other class, so I'll be taking your calls. So yeah, yeah, revoir of course is going to fall. You know, this trick raw you can add with any verb, mostly with all of the words, I think. Not all of the, but you know, most of the verbs you can just add raw if you see that action can be repeated or not, right? Practically. So if that action can be repeated, you can add just raw. Like I'm taking this exam again, right? Je vais prendre or je vais reprendre cet examen. I'm going to retake this exam. Maybe I didn't get the desired score. So je vais reprendre cet examen. Got it? If I say je vais prendre l'examen is the very first time I'm going to take this exam. I'm going to just take this exam. And when I say je vais reprendre cet examen, it's I'm going to retake this exam. Okay, I'm going to revoir. That's why we say au revoir, right? Do you remember that expression au revoir? What does it mean?
Yes. See you. See you again.
See
Goodbye.
you again.
Yes, it's an expression. So complete grammar will not work here, but still kind of taken from grammatical sense only and the word meaning only. That au revoir basically means to see someone again, right?
See you again. Yeah.
To see you again, or to see someone again, right? So au revoir, like let's see
Yes.
you again. I'm going to see you again. Basically, it means as that. See you next time, or see you next time. There is a specific one, but here at least it means that see you, right? See you again. Revoir. So this ra is basically again, or you know, or repetition of the same. That's the thing. I think. Any other doubt?
No, all clear.
All
All
clear.
clear. And what about the usage? You guys are very clear when to use present tense and when not to use them, right? I think. Are we clear with usage at least? That you know all the actions which should be in at current, right? Ongoing actions should be ongoing action when you are using love ratio, right? It should not be a past, like the action which has finished, maybe in recent past, but it should be kind of mostly present only. Okay. So even some recent
Correct.
past
Like
you
in the
can take.
have been form.
Yeah, you can even take some recent past also to the present, right? As I said during the explanation, you can take some recent past. You can even take some near future also in the present bucket. But yeah, you know, be careful where you do not pass that level. You know that limit that you're. It has to be a recent past. You know, once you're using the preso or present tense, and it has to be near future once you're using the la preso. If it's pure future, go with the future sample, which is a different tense, right? So once we get to know other
So
tenses, you
one
can.
question here, Gyan.
Yes, yes.
One question here that let's say if I'm going to learn guitar from tomorrow. Now this
Okay.
is near future.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good.
And
Yeah. So
right?
if you are going to learn guitar from tomorrow, I would say or I will say je vais, right? Aller verb. It's simple. Going to go, right? Going to do, going to play, going to learn. So the same formation. What I actually write. Let me write the formation for you. It's aller. What we see is you know, Future pros, it's a different tense. Let me just write the name of that tense. The future pros. Pros means next, right? Allah prosen. Do you remember that expression? Just 1 second. Give me a- Hello. मैं तो अभी क्लास ले रहा था मानिक, मैं जा रहा हूँ बस 2 मिनट में रैप अप कर दूँ। बस 2 मिनट और हैं इनको छोड़ के फिर जा रहा हूँ वहीं पे। ठीक 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 है भाई। So okay, what we are talking, love future pros, right? So pros का meaning क्या है? Everyone, can anyone tell me pros? Okay, one expression we talked about, Allah prosen, right? Allah prosen. See you next time, right? This is our expression, Allah prosen. When it's see you next time. So the future pros is next future or kind of near future, I would say. Okay, and here it should not be, it should not be written here. The future pros. Uh, it's, see it.
The near future.
Okay, ale plus you can use infinitive, and that's your how to say it. It's going to do or to play or to learn, whatever you want to write the verb. So your way ale present tense में love preso conjugation, right? Love preso. This is the formation. This is a different tense which is love future tense. Okay, and here we generally, as you are saying, I'm going to learn guitar from tomorrow. Je vais I'm going to learn, right? Apprendre. Je vais apprendre the guitar. I'm going to learn guitar. Or for tomorrow, I can add here Adame. Okay, Adame from tomorrow. Je vais apprendre la guitare. Okay, fine. So if I say je vais
Okay, like a
regarder,
passive voice.
tell me.
So it's like a passive voice.
No, it's not a passive voice. It's saying I'm going to play. Okay, remove this tomorrow as of now. Keep it simple. Je vais apprendre la guitare. So what I'm writing, I'll को conjugating with the present tense. Okay. Now we are taking the infinitive verb, the original verb, non-conjugated verb, right? Which is basically to do, to play, to learn, to run, right? So infinitive verb. So what I'm writing is je vais, I'm going to apprendre, I'm going to learn. La guitar is the guitar actually. Got it? Okay. If I wanted to write it
Got it,
as a
but the meaning is not complete.
okay. What meaning is not complete?
Yeah, because now let's say we're translating this whole sentence which says I'm going to learn guitar from tomorrow,
Okay.
but if
From
we're
tomorrow,
writing this
I've not
sentence in
written. Okay.
okay, okay,
I've just written a simple sentence. Je vais apprendre la guitare. Okay. You can add from tomorrow, Adame. But I'm just saying it's simple. Je vais apprendre. It's a present tense only, right?
right,
Okay. You want to keep it pure present, so it should be I'm learning, right? Or I learn guitar, right? So for that you will write je and then conjugate the apprendre. This is the way, right? Je apprends le guitar, and this is what does this mean? Is I'm learning guitar or I'm going to learn, or I learn guitar. Okay. And what does this mean is basically I am going to learn near future.
that makes sense. Yeah,
Got it? So what I have written
yeah,
at the bottom is of what we are doing right now. It's a present tense conjugation. Subject plus present conjugation plus object. What I have written up above is subject plus ale, which is la preso formation, and then plus infinitive, which is the formation for future pros, which is a fake future or near future. I prefer to say it as a fake future which is very near actually. So that's why I say it as fake future. बुक में नहीं लिखा होगा. I'm just saying, for my convenience. So it's near future or fake future, a future which is not purely a future tense. It's almost, about to happen actually. I would say. I'm going to eat. I'm going
Right.
to play.
Right.
I'm going to learn. All these formations are something which is about to happen, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And what we are la preso in preso, what we are doing is basically saying we are learning something or we learn something. Repetitive action in the present, or maybe a present continuous action, or maybe simply a fact, a data, an idea, right? A thought.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm open for any other doubts you guys have.
No, all clear.
Yeah. Akhil and Venice, you guys have anything?
No, right now we don't have.
No,
I was just
no.
asking that the application you just tell us that it's just for the conjugations.
Yeah, it's just written as conjugaison. I'll be sending a screenshot
Okay,
after the class. Don't worry. I'll be sending you details for the
okay,
that application.
okay,
There are many
okay,
more applications, but I like this because it's very simple, I think, and very easy to use. That's why I'm saying. I will be sending you the
okay,
screenshot of the same, okay, after the
okay, sure. Yeah,
Okay then. Bye bye. We'll
bye.
meet
Okay.
tomorrow.
Bye
Bye.
again.
Okay.
Merci.
Allah Hussein. Bye bye.
See you. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.